Hi, it's Jane. I don't know why you guys are kind of crooked there. Strange. Um, Voice has still got the frog in it, but there isn't anything I knew about that until it eventually heals up. I did have someone that asked me about the scrubbies that I make, so I thought I would show you that. I just used the Scrub It yarn, or Scrubology, Scrub It, for these. I have used, in the past, I've done the Lion Brand Scrubby yarn, but I don't like the way that it feels in my hands. But I can do it, just not real, pleased with it. But what I basically do is I just make them, I think I cast on 10 or 11. Chain 10 or 11, and then just do half double crochets for probably about 9 rows, maybe 10 rows. And those are the scrubbies that I put out there. I have done the ones in the round, like what Creative Grandma does, but they don't sell as well as these square ones. And I just, maybe it's just the group that I'm selling to that prefers the square ones. I don't know. Who knows? But that is where I get my, I get a lot of sales from those when I do the craft fair that I do. And it's just one craft fair a year that I do. Okay, so I've continued to work on my Tarnation scarf. We've still got a ways to go on it before it's ready to be moved on, finished. The only other thing that I've really worked on, haven't worked on the ripple blanket at all this week. I did do quite a bit of knitting. As you can see, we're down here. So I did get a bit more knitting done. So I'm going to move that marker up. And I really haven't been keeping a marker with the ripple, I don't think. Have I? Maybe I have. Let me look and see. Well, I hear something clanging, so I guess I have. Well, see, I've moved it up. I haven't done a thing to it. So I'm ready to add the white in. And I'll probably work a little bit on that this week. So, or, as Jeanette says, work on her blanket. So, yeah, that's kind of all I've gotten done this week. I've not been real productive. I've been sewing. Let me get this away from the cat because she thinks it's a toy. I've been sewing because of the craft fair. I make some small little purses, and occasionally I make the jar grippers that you can open up. I don't really do a lot of those. I've done a couple, and those I sew so that they're just a little bit nicer to have the sewn pattern than to do the crocheted around the edge or knit around the edge, which you can do that with the shelf liner. They come out nice looking. A lot of folks like those as well at this craft fair. This craft fair is not a big dollar, high dollar craft fair. It is something that is, most ladies aren't willing to put out more than $5 or $6 per item. And so, I don't really go out real big to do a lot with it. The little coin purses that I make, I generally sell those for about $6 each just because of the amount of material I have to use the interfacing, that kind of thing for them. I have in the past taken some of my tote bags, but I won't sell those less than $20 each, and they've never sold, no matter what they were. So I no longer even take those out there. Like I said, this is not a big ticket sale item for these ladies. You know, they're looking for things that are fairly cheap for Christmas to give out. Although I do have two ladies that, you know, with the scrubbies, they buy those scrubbies for their kids and their granddaughters that are in college because they're great cleaners. So who knows? You can never tell what's going to go and what's not going to go, right? Now for Christmas, Operation Christmas Child, I will show you something that I found rather interesting. Each of these kids, you find a booklet that they get. When they get their shoe boxes, they actually get a book in that shoebox that is in their language, and it is called The Greatest Gift, and it tells the story of Jesus, tells the gospel of Christ, and it's just a nice little storybook. And what is interesting that every one of the people that have gone forward to do a missionary with Samaritan's Purse for Operation Christmas Child, they all talk about, even though the box is filled with lots of goodies, they always keep turning back to this book and looking at this book because they're amazed that there is a God that loves them. So some of the gifts that I had shared a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, and it's a very crude tutorial on how to make a Tic Tac Toe game, crocheted, where you make the mat, you crochet the pieces, and then the way that you pull the mat up, you can just, there's a string around the edge of it that you can pull up like a drawstring that'll hold all the pieces to the game and stuff. So I'll leave that link down below for that. But some of the other things we've done in the past, one of my friends who does a lot of plastic canvas, one of her favorite things to do was to make tic-tac-toe games out of plastic canvas using a small square, and then we would add buttons for the tic-tac-toe pieces. So those are two ideas that you can use for the tic-tac-toe. The other thing is loveys. You know, taking a small stuffed toy, making the lovey to go over it is a great gift, great idea. And of course, as always, they love a lot of things like all the girls tend to open up and play with the beads, necklaces, rings, those kind of thing. So you could always include, you know, a couple packages of beads and some string for them to string their own, plus one that you've made. Those are a couple of ideas for the Operation Christmas Child that you could consider to make. And that's about it. That's my spiel for today. So let's get into what in Tarnation. It's going to be a short one because of my voice. Mystery safe dumped at side of Texas road. Police in Texas are attempting to solve the mystery of a large safe that was dumped at the side of the road on a cul-de-sac. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office said the locked safe was found on the cul-de-sac of Stevens Parkway and Sam Houston Way in the San Antonio area. Witnesses described the person who dumped the safe as a man between the ages of 50 and 60 and driving a newer model Chevrolet Silverado truck. The driver exited the truck, pulled a large combination safe from the bed of the truck, the sheriff's office said, and he dumped it on the side of the road. The contents of the safe remain a mystery. Why would anybody dump a safe? Unless they stole it and couldn't open it. It's kind of weird. Fur seal stops on railroad tracks, delaying commuter trains. Commuters in the New Zealand capital area faced lengthy delays when a fur seal planted itself in the middle of a set of train tracks. The country's Department of Conservation said on social media that commuter trains were delayed when the fur seal, also known as kikino, was spotted on the middle of the tracks near, now I'm going to butcher this name, Ngaronga, a suburb of Wellington. Although the loose seal caused issues for public transport, many people were more concerned with the welfare of the animal, with multiple reports to our hotline. The subadult seal isn't an unusual sight around Wellington. However, it was quite skinny and didn't seem fazed by its predicament, which could indicate signs of fatigue. The DOC said the seal didn't need to catch the train in the end, as DOC rangers gave it a ride to Wellington's south coast, where it is safely released away from people and dogs. And you know there are video and links down below as well to all of these. Mysterious white blobs washing up on Newfoundland beaches. Environmental authorities in Canada are trying Newfoundland. See, I told you words are hard today. Environmental authorities in Canada are trying to solve the mystery of unidentified white blobs that have been washing up on Newfoundland beaches. The white masses, which range in size from a coin to a dinner plate, started showing up on area beaches in September, and locals shared photos of the unidentified objects in the Beachcombers of Newfoundland and Labrador Facebook group. Some suggested the blobs could be ambergris or another fluid originating from the well, but opinions are split. Environment and Climate Change Canada officials said the mystery substance is under investigation. An answer would be nice. It's not often you find something that stumps people who know this place and these waters, resident Dave McGrath told The Guardian. And it kind of resembles, the video I saw said it resembles Play-Doh. So that's kind of strange. Cat living at London ambulance station spared from eviction. A rescue cat who has lived at London ambulance station for 16 years was spared from an announced eviction after a public outcry that included a petition with more than 62,000 signatures. Staff at the London Ambulance Service, Walthamstow Station, rescued Defib the Cat as a kitten 16 years ago, and he has lived there ever since. A Change.org petition started by staff said Defib was under threat of eviction following a change of local management at the London Ambulance Service. The petition, which argued the 16-year-old cat should be allowed to remain, gained more than 62,000 signatures from supporters. Local Member of Parliament Stella Creasy was among those voicing support for Defib on social media. Defib the cat facing a no-fault eviction from Walthamstow's ambulance base. Hard to see why given he's lived there for 16 years happily and helped staff cope with a stressful job, she wrote, asking for Health Secretary West Streeting to step in to help the feline. The petitioner's author announced Thursday that officials have decided to let Defib stay. And with all your help, love, and kindness, a decision has been made to let me stay in my beloved home with my amazing friends. Thanks so much for giving one small cat such a huge voice. I cannot express how grateful I am. Nose boops for all. The update said. Daniel L. Lees, Chief Executive of the London Ambulance Service, confirmed the decision, writing on social media. I have listened to the views of the public and many of our staff, and we have now agreed that Defib can remain at Walthamstow Ambulance Station. Defib is much loved by the staff at Walthamstow Ambulance Station, and evidently he has won the hearts of the public too. And this last story, the video makes the whole story funnier. It just does. So I hope you do at least go watch the video. Officer attacked by giant inflatable pumpkin. An Ohio police officer attempting to wrangle a runaway inflatable pumpkin in the middle of a residential road was attacked by the decoration and ended up engulfed. A dashboard camera video shared by the Bay Village Police Department shows an officer arriving at the scene near Wolf Road and Sadler Road to find the runaway pumpkin in the middle of the road. The video shows the officer attempt to move the pumpkin, but instead ends up engulfed by the giant inflatable. The department joked that the officer was attacked by the Halloween display. Luckily, no officers or pumpkins were harmed during the event, the Post said. Once backup officers arrived, the pumpkin was returned to the homeowner. And that is it for What in Tarnation. It's kind of cute, right, guys? And now we're moving on to the devotional. And this comes from Promises from God's Heart. Promises from God's heart when facing trials. Don't we always go through those? Though now for a short time you have had to struggle in various trials, so that the genuineness of your faith, more valuable than gold, which perishes though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 1, 6-8. Consider it a great joy, my brothers, whenever you experience various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. But endurance must do its complete work, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. James 1, 2-4. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. God will bless you if you don't give up when your faith is being tested. He will reward you with a glorious life, just as he rewards everyone who loves him. James 1:12. May the Lord be praised. Day after day he bears our burdens. God is our salvation. Psalm 68:19. Stoop down and reach out to those who are oppressed. Share their burdens and so complete Christ's laws. Galatians 6:2. Your promise revives me. It comforts me in all my troubles. The proud hold me in utter contempt, but I do not turn away from your instructions. I meditate on your age-old regulations. O Lord, they comfort me. Psalm 119, 50, 52. For our momentary light affliction is producing for us an absolutely incomparable, eternal weight of glory. 2 Corinthians 4:17. And that is it for the devotion. I will tell you, my church this week, we had a missions, this missions weekend, where we kind of dedicate on different missions in different countries. And what they do is they generally set up different tables around the foyer of the church lobby. And at these tables, people present different foods and things from different countries. So I think they had one that was called the China McDonald's, so you could stop in and get one of their treats that's given out in China. Of course, we had Philippine Island, China, again, a different China, area of China. And then there was also like Cyprus was represented, Brazil represented, Kenya, Canada. And of course in Canada they had Smarties, but they also had the ketchup potato chips. And I was laughing, I told her, I said, those were some of our favorite chips when they had that flavor here in the US. And she said, yeah, we still get them. So, and the family, original family, is from Canada. So that was a nice little trip back down memory lane. And then there's a station to write some cards to some of the different missionaries that our church supports, as well as a area for you to stop and pray for the different missionaries that are overseas and the job that they are doing spreading the gospel. So that was kind of interesting to be able to do that, and it was nice. We also had a guest speaker. Our church had sent a missionary team to Belize to help with building, putting in windows and putting on a roof for a church. And so that pastor from that area, he's one of the pastors that oversees 8 churches in Belize. He had come and he did the he'd done a sermon. He did a sermon on testimony. Your testimony is very important to sharing the word with other people. So that was interesting, and it was good to get to see him. I had met him a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. He's a friend of the fellow that we go to for home groups. These two men have worked together for like 38 years in this ministry program. So it was nice to get to see him again and to see his wife again and to get to talk with them. And felt like family, if you know what I mean. But he was there to answer any questions that people had about, because he is a church planter. And so it was interesting to hear how the idea and the way that church planters work. So, and if you don't know what a church planter is, it is someone who looks into different communities, different areas. They may see that there is a need for a church there, and they may find an opportunity that God opens up those doors so that they can plant a church. And in that, they find people who are willing to step up and help run the church as well as teach. And they do everything necessary to get them schooled in the Word of God and those kind of things. So, it was just an interesting thing to see that thing. And then we were laughing because one of the tables, it's a husband and wife team. They always man the table. And they present a drink from Kenya, which is a chai tea. And the husband was teasing. He said, now if you come in to Kenya and you say you want chai tea, you have to know that you're actually asking for tea, because chai means tea in this country. So if you say you want some chai tea, you're saying I want some tea. So that was kind of a fun thing to learn this year. And they do this every year. We do this in November. It's Missions Week, so we concentrate on the different missions around the country. And there usually is a guest speaker during that week. So it was just a great way to learn about different countries, those kind of things, you know. So, and I did have an interesting snack. There was a fried mango with tagine on it. It was a little spicy, but it was interesting because it was the sweet flavor of mango and then that hot spice of tagine on it. So, yeah, it was kind of fun. And we all enjoyed ourselves. And that's kind of, what our church does once a year for Missions Week. And last time we had 10 tables. This time they had 14 stations for everyone to stop at, which they expect you to do that in about 45 minutes. And I got to tell you, our church is a chatty bunch, so it gets kind of difficult to get through all those stations and to see. They did have one table set up for the youth, for them to consider going to missions, IBM or IMB, I think is what it is. And they're trying to recruit young people. They get a 2-year program if they wish to join from the ages of 21 to 29, where they can go and serve, do a mission. And generally they're 6 weeks in the summer, each summer. It's totally free to them. And when I got to that table, I was teasing the pastor. I said, do they accept people who think they are mentally 21 through 29? And then he was showing me that there are spots there that even older folks that would like to do a mission can sign up for. Now, of course, your costs aren't paid for. You do have to pay the cost for your lodging while you're there, your food, that kind of stuff, and for your travel. But it was nice to be able to see that it wasn't just geared towards young people. Because I'd laughed, I said, I wish that was around when I was younger. I probably would have gone for that. But yeah, that's kind of what was going on in my life this week, other than, just doing a little bit of knitting, crocheting, that kind of thing. So that's it. And I will see you again next week. And in the meantime, don't let those elephants and donkeys drive us apart. We only have 1 more week to go, I think. No, about a week and a half. Maybe 2 weeks. But we're almost done with the election season. Yay! All right, guys. See you guys next week. Bye.